In the lab, engineers and scientists moved swiftly. They installed advanced weapon systems on the old ships, transforming them into formidable machines. One of the key upgrades was a new type of energy cannon, capable of firing powerful blasts that could penetrate even the strongest alien shields. Mike, the lead engineer, worked late into the night, ensuring every detail was perfect. "Can we really make these old ships fight?" one young engineer asked, looking doubtful. Captain Sarah overheard him and walked over, her expression serious. "Yes, we can. These ships may look old, but they are filled with the spirit of humanity. With our upgrades, they will surprise the aliens. We just need to believe in ourselves." Meanwhile, the aliens continued their celebrations, boasting about their advanced technology. They believed they had nothing to fear from humans. They even spread rumors that humans were too weak to fight back. Little did they know that beneath the surface, humans were preparing to unleash their hidden power. As the humans worked, they also devised clever tactics. They planned to use the element of surprise to their advantage. "We will create a distraction," Sarah explained to her crew. "While some of us engage their fleet, the rest will sneak around and attack from behind." The crew nodded, their faces filled with determination. They were ready to show the aliens that they were not to be underestimated. Days turned into weeks as the humans completed their preparations. They tested the new weapons, running simulations to ensure everything would work perfectly. Each test fired up their confidence. The energy cannon fired with a bright flash, leaving everyone in awe. "This is it," Mike said, grinning. "We can do this!" The day before the battle, Captain Sarah gathered her team one last time. "Tomorrow we fight not just for ourselves, but for every human who has ever been laughed at or belittled," she said passionately. "We will prove to the galaxy that humanity is strong, and we will not back down." The crew erupted in cheers, their hearts pounding with excitement. On the morning of the battle, the humans felt a mix of nerves and adrenaline. They gathered in the hangar, ready to board their upgraded ships. Each ship now had a new name, reflecting the spirit of humanity. Sarah's ship was named the Phoenix, symbolizing rebirth and strength. As they launched into space, the humans looked out at the vastness before them. "This is our moment," Sarah said, her voice steady. "We are no longer the underdogs. We are warriors." The crew cheered once more, their spirits soaring. When they arrived at the location where the aliens had gathered, the sight was overwhelming. The alien ships were massive, shining and intimidating, but the humans held their ground, knowing they had a plan. Sarah activated their stealth mode, allowing them to approach undetected. "Remember our training," she instructed. "Stay focused and trust each other." As they got closer, the aliens continued to underestimate them. They were busy showing off their ships, not realizing the humans were right under their noses. "Let's show them what we're made of," Sarah whispered, her heart racing. Suddenly, the humans sprang into action. They activated their energy cannons, firing brilliant blasts into the unsuspecting alien fleet. The element of surprise worked in their favor. Alien ships exploded in brilliant flashes of light as chaos erupted around them. The aliens were stunned, their laughter turning to screams of fear. "Keep pushing forward!" Sarah shouted, rallying her crew. They maneuvered their ships with precision, dodging enemy fire and returning it with skill. The old ships, now upgraded and powerful, proved their worth in the heat of battle. The humans had transformed their weakness into strength. As the battle raged on, the humans felt a rush of pride. They were not just fighting for survival, they were fighting for respect and recognition. The aliens who had once ridiculed them were now faced with a formidable opponent. With each victory, the humans grew stronger, their confidence blooming. They had come a long way from being the laughingstock of the galaxy, and they were ready to show everyone that they were a force to be reckoned with. The battle had begun. In the vastness of space, bright explosions lit up the darkness, and the sounds of lasers echoed like thunder. Captain Sarah and her crew were in the thick of it, their upgraded ships gliding through the chaos. The thrill of the fight coursed through their veins, and they were ready to prove their worth. As they engaged the alien fleet, Sarah shouted orders over the comms. "Stay in formation! We need to stick together!" The crew responded with determination. They maneuvered their ships skillfully, dodging incoming fire and returning shots with their powerful energy cannons. Each blast lit up the darkness, sending shock waves through the enemy ranks. The aliens, once so confident, were now scrambling. Their ships were massive and intimidating, but they were not prepared for the fierce resistance from the humans. One of the aliens, a tall being with shimmering skin, shouted in panic. "They're attacking us! How can they do this?" The fear was palpable among the alien ranks as they realized they had underestimated their opponents. As the battle raged, Sarah spotted an alien flagship hovering in the center of the fleet. It was larger than all the other ships and heavily armed. "That's our target," she declared. "If we take down their flagship, the rest will follow." The crew nodded in agreement, their faces set with resolve. This was their chance to turn the tide. With adrenaline pumping, Sarah led her team toward the flagship. As they approached, the alien ship fired a barrage of lasers at them. "Evasive maneuvers," Sarah ordered, her heart racing. The humans skillfully dodged the incoming fire, weaving through the chaos like a school of fish. They were determined not to let fear hold them back. Finally, they reached the flagship's flanks. "Now's our chance!" Sarah yelled, and the crew unleashed a volley of energy blasts. The bright beams struck the flagship, creating explosions that shook the entire ship. The alien crew aboard was thrown into disarray as alarms blared and lights flashed. "Keep firing!" Sarah commanded. The humans focused their attacks, aiming for the flagship's weak points. They knew that every second counted. The aliens were struggling to regain control, but their panic only fueled the humans' resolve. In the heat of battle, Sarah noticed an alien ship attempting to flank them from the left. "We need to watch our sides," she warned. Just as she spoke, the alien ship fired, and a beam shot toward them. The humans barely dodged it, but one of their own ships was hit. It exploded in a shower of sparks and debris. "No!" Sarah cried, grief washing over her. But there was no time to mourn. They had to keep fighting. "Let's avenge our fallen comrades!" One of the crew shouted, and the remaining humans felt a surge of determination. They pressed on, their spirits unbroken. With each successful shot, they were not just fighting for victory, they were fighting for their friends and family back home. As they continued their assault, Sarah spotted a weak point on the flagship, the main reactor. "If we can hit that, we can take them down!" she shouted. With the crew rallying behind her, they coordinated their fire, focusing all their energy on the reactor. "On my mark, 3, 2, 1, fire!" A wave of energy blasts hit the flagship's reactor simultaneously. For a moment, time seemed to stand still. Then, a massive explosion erupted from the flagship, lighting up the space around them. The alien ship shuddered and broke apart, its remains drifting through space like confetti after a celebration. The remaining alien ships froze, fear evident on their faces. They had lost their leader, their confidence shattered. "Retreat! Retreat!" an alien shouted, and one by one the ships turned and fled. The humans had done it. They had taken down the flagship and caused the enemy fleet to scatter. Cheers erupted among the human crew. "We did it!" someone shouted, their voice filled with joy. Captain Sarah felt a rush of pride. They had faced their fears and fought back against those who had mocked them. Today, they were not just survivors, they were warriors. As the humans regrouped, Sarah looked out into the stars, a sense of accomplishment filling her heart. They had transformed their humiliation into strength, proving that humanity could stand up to anyone, no matter how powerful. The galaxy would remember this day, and the laughter of the aliens would soon turn into respect. The showdown had just begun, and the humans were ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. After the triumphant victory over the alien flagship, the atmosphere aboard the human ships was electric. Cheers and shouts of excitement filled the air as Captain Sarah and her crew celebrated their hard-fought success. But deep down, Sarah knew that the battle was far from over. The aliens would not easily give up. They would be back, and the humans needed to prepare for the next phase of their fight. "Listen up, everyone," Sarah called, raising her voice to be heard over the excitement. "We may have won today, but the aliens are regrouping. We need to be ready for their counterattack." The crew quieted, their expressions shifting from joy to seriousness. They understood the stakes. In the days that followed, the humans worked tirelessly to strengthen their defenses and strategize for what was to come. They repaired their ships and installed even more advanced weaponry. Mike, the lead engineer, spent countless hours enhancing the energy cannons, ensuring they could fire with even greater power and precision. Meanwhile, Sarah gathered intelligence on the aliens. She sent scouts to gather information about their movements and their remaining fleet. "We need to know what we're up against," she told her team. "Understanding our enemy is crucial if we want to keep winning." As they analyzed the data, they discovered something surprising. The aliens had a secret weapon of their own, a super battleship unlike anything they had seen before. It was heavily armed and designed to crush anything in its path. The crew felt a chill run down their spines when they heard the news. "We can't face that alone," one crew member said, worry etched on their face. But Sarah remained calm. "We won't be alone," she reassured them. "We have allies. We just need to reach out to them." The humans had made contact with other species in the galaxy who had suffered at the hands of the aliens. They decided to unite their forces against their common enemy. Through a series of messages and holographic meetings, they rallied other species to their cause. Each ally brought unique strengths, and together they formed a coalition determined to fight back against the alien threat. They called themselves the United Forces of the Galaxy. As the coalition grew, so did the humans' confidence. Sarah felt a surge of hope as she stood before the diverse assembly of their allies. "Today, we are not just humans. We are part of something bigger," she said passionately. "Together, we will show the aliens that we are stronger than they ever imagined." With a renewed sense of purpose, they planned their next move. Their goal was to find and destroy the aliens' super battleship before it could wreak havoc on the galaxy. They developed a bold strategy, combining the strengths of each species to create a powerful fighting force. On the day of the battle, the atmosphere was tense. Sarah stood on the bridge of her ship, surrounded by her crew and allies. They were ready to face the aliens once again. "Remember, we fight for each other and for our homes. Let's show them what we can do," she shouted, her voice filled with determination. As they approached the alien fleet, Sarah's heart raced. The super battleship loomed ahead, dark and imposing against the stars. It was surrounded by smaller ships, but the humans and their allies were not intimidated. "On my mark, we engage," Sarah commanded, her voice steady. The battle began with a deafening roar. Lasers and energy blasts lit up the darkness as the two forces clashed. Sarah's crew fought with all their might, remembering the victories that had brought them here. They coordinated their attacks, using their combined firepower to target the super battleship. As the battle raged on, the humans and their allies worked together seamlessly. They covered each other's backs, dodging enemy fire and launching counterattacks. The unity of the coalition was inspiring. Sarah felt a surge of pride as she watched her crew and their allies fight side by side, demonstrating the strength of their united front. But the aliens fought back fiercely. The super battleship unleashed devastating blasts that shook the very fabric of space. One of their allied ships was hit, spiraling out of control. "No!" Sarah cried, but she knew they had to keep pushing forward. In the heat of the moment, Sarah spotted an opening. "Target their weapon systems!" she shouted. The crew responded instantly, focusing their fire on the super battleship's vulnerable spots. As they fired, they felt a surge of hope. Together, they could turn the tide. With one final, coordinated attack, they struck the super battleship's weapon systems, rendering it powerless. The alien ship shuddered and began to break apart, a symbol of their hard-won victory. Cheers erupted among the humans and their allies. They had done it. They had turned the tide against the aliens, proving that together they were unstoppable. In that moment of triumph, Sarah realized that they had not just fought for survival, they had fought for unity, for friendship, and for a brighter future. The galaxy was watching, and humanity had finally earned its place among the stars. The echoes of battle had faded, leaving behind a silence that was almost peaceful. The vastness of space, once filled with the sounds of explosions and cries, was now quiet. As the last remnants of the alien fleet retreated, the coalition of human and allied ships began to regroup. They had won a significant victory, one that would be remembered throughout the galaxy. Captain Sarah stood on the bridge of her ship, gazing out at the stars. The view was beautiful, but her heart was heavy. They had lost many brave souls during the battle. She took a deep breath, feeling the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. "We need to honor their memory," she said softly, breaking the silence. Her crew nodded in agreement, understanding the importance of their fallen comrades. The coalition ships gathered in formation, and Sarah communicated with their allies. "Let's hold a memorial for those we lost," she suggested. The other leaders quickly agreed. They organized a ceremony, a moment to remember the heroes who had fought so valiantly. As the ceremony began, the atmosphere was somber, yet filled with hope. Each species shared stories of their fallen warriors, tales of bravery and sacrifice. Sarah spoke about her crew, highlighting their courage and dedication. They fought not just for themselves, but for all of us. They believed in a better future. And we must continue to honor their legacy, she said, her voice strong and clear. After the ceremony, the mood shifted from sorrow to celebration. They had accomplished something remarkable, uniting different species against a common foe. Sarah and her crew shared laughter and stories, their spirits lifted. They had faced incredible odds and emerged victorious. News of their victory spread quickly through the galaxy. The united forces of the galaxy became a symbol of hope and strength. Many other species, who had been oppressed by the aliens, reached out to join their coalition. They wanted to be part of this new alliance that stood against tyranny. Sarah felt a surge of pride as she realized they were creating a movement that would change the course of history. As days passed, the coalition leaders met to discuss their next steps. They knew they had to be ready for any retaliation from the aliens. "We need to solidify our defenses," Sarah urged during the meeting. "We can't let our guard down now that we've shown our strength." The leaders agreed, and they began to devise plans to protect their territories and ensure peace in the galaxy. Meanwhile, life on Earth began to return to normal. News outlets celebrated the humans' bravery and highlighted the unity of the coalition. Children watched as their parents discussed the battles, their eyes wide with admiration. The people felt a sense of pride that their species had fought back and won. One day, while Sarah was walking through the command center, she received a message from the Galactic Council. They wanted to recognize the united forces for their bravery and contributions. "This is incredible!" Sarah exclaimed, sharing the news with her crew. They gathered around, their faces lighting up with excitement. The council invited the coalition leaders to a grand ceremony on a neutral planet. "We'll be honored as heroes," one of her crew members said, eyes shining with anticipation. "This is our chance to show the galaxy who we are." The day of the ceremony arrived, and the coalition members gathered on the beautiful planet. It was adorned with flowers and lights, symbolizing hope and unity. Sarah looked around at the diverse crowd, feeling proud to stand among her allies. As the council members took the stage, they praised the coalition for their courage and determination. "You have shown us that together we are stronger," one council member said, his voice resonating through the crowd. "Today we celebrate not just a victory, but a new era of cooperation and friendship." When it was Sarah's turn to speak, she took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. "We fought not just for our own survival, but for a future where all species can live freely," she declared. "Let this be a reminder that when we stand together, we can overcome any challenge. Together, we will continue to protect our homes and fight against injustice." The crowd erupted in applause, cheers echoing across the venue. The atmosphere was filled with joy and hope as they celebrated their triumph over adversity. Sarah felt a sense of belonging, knowing they had built something incredible together. As the ceremony concluded, Sarah looked up at the stars, a smile spreading across her face. They had faced darkness and emerged victorious. The galaxy was changing, and humanity was finally taking its rightful place among the stars, ready to forge a bright future for all. In a grand hall filled with bright lights and strange sounds, a galactic conference was underway. The hall was packed with representatives from various alien races, each more unique than the last. Some had shimmering skin, others had multiple arms, and a few even floated in midair. But they all shared one thing in common: they looked down on humanity. At the center of the hall, a large stage displayed some of the most advanced ships from different alien worlds. The audience gasped as a sleek silver ship glided across the stage, its design flawless and impressive. The aliens cheered, proud of their technology and superiority. Among the crowd, humans sat quietly, their hearts heavy with a mix of pride and embarrassment. When it was time for humans to present their ships, a deep silence fell over the crowd. The human representative, Captain Sarah, stepped forward with a brave face. She knew the moment was crucial, and she wanted to make her people proud. Behind her, the curtain lifted, revealing the human ships. They were old, with rusted metal and faded paint. They looked nothing like the shiny vessels of the aliens. As the audience caught sight of the human ships, a wave of laughter erupted. "Look at those ancient things!" one alien shouted, pointing with a long, slender finger. "They look like they belong in a museum." Others joined in, their laughter ringing through the hall. Captain Sarah felt a flush of anger rise within her. How could they mock her people like this? Despite the humiliation, Captain Sarah stood tall. "These ships may look old," she began, her voice steady, "but they are strong and have carried us through many battles. They have stories of bravery and courage." The aliens only laughed harder, dismissing her words. They were so confident in their superiority that they didn't see the fire in the humans' eyes. After the presentation, the humans gathered in a private room to discuss what had just happened. Captain Sarah paced back and forth, frustration bubbling inside her. "We cannot let them think we are weak," she said, her voice firm. "We must show them that we are capable of more than they understand." One of the engineers, Mike, nodded in agreement. "We have technology that we haven't revealed yet. What if we use it to upgrade our ships? We can turn the tables on them." The room filled with excited murmurs as everyone began to discuss ideas. The humans realized that they had underestimated their own potential. Over the next few days, the humans worked tirelessly. They gathered the best engineers, scientists, and strategists, all determined to prove the aliens wrong. In a hidden lab, they began upgrading their ships with advanced technology, new weapons, and stealth capabilities. The humans felt a renewed sense of purpose, as if they were finally taking control of their destiny. Captain Sarah was at the forefront of these preparations. She knew that they needed to be ready for anything. "We must not only defend ourselves," she said passionately to her team, "but we must show them the strength of humanity. They think we are outdated, but we will surprise them." As the humans worked day and night, the alien representatives continued to boast about their ships and technology. They believed the humans were no threat and were busy planning their next move in the galaxy, still mocking the human ships. Little did they know, the humans were preparing for something big. With each passing day, the humans became more confident. The upgrades to their ships were impressive, and their spirits soared as they worked together, united by a common goal. The laughter of the aliens no longer bothered them. Instead, it fueled their desire for revenge. On the final day of preparation, Captain Sarah gathered her crew. "Today, we show them who we are. They will remember this day," she declared. The humans cheered, their voices echoing in the halls as they prepared for the battle ahead. They felt ready to face the aliens, no longer afraid of ridicule. As they boarded their ships, the humans felt a sense of pride. They were not just outdated vessels, they were symbols of resilience and strength, and soon they would turn the laughter of the aliens into fear. The stage was set for an epic confrontation, one that would change the course of their history forever. After the humiliation at the Galactic Conference, the humans were determined to turn the tide. They had worked tirelessly day and night in their hidden lab. The atmosphere was charged with excitement and anticipation. Captain Sarah and her team were ready to reveal their hidden weapon.